You're listening to Puma Podcast.
Both the president and the vice president are experiencing significant decline in their popularity. By this, I'm referring to the numbers telling us that the number of Filipinos saying that they're satisfied with their performance, either with the president or the vice president, is now below the majority, right? So since they've been elected, this is the first time that both of them actually are in that particular scenario already.
Vice President Sara Duterte's performance rating takes a major blow amid her increasingly fraught feud with President Ferdinand Marcos. Just last March, research firm WR Numero found that 60% of Filipinos approved of her performance. That number dropped to 47% in September, following her departure from cabinet. A slew of high-profile congressional probes all tied to her family in some way, and the arrest of her father's close ally, Apollo Kibuloy. In this episode, WR Numero's president and CEO, Cleve Arguelles, tells me what he learned about how Filipinos are processing this feud. I'm Bella Perez Rubio, Puma Podcast, and you're listening to Teka Teka.
So, this is the issue 2, volume 2 of the Philippine Public Opinion Monitor. This is our flagship research initiative at WR Numero. And as usual, the idea with the Opinion Monitor is to look at Filipino attitudes, particularly in socio-political issues that confronts the nation. So, we've interviewed 1,729 people across the country. That's between September 5 to the 23rd of this year. So this is really fresh data. And this gives us a plus or minus 2% margin of error for our national survey. So this is also very accurate as a measure of public opinion.
So let's just jump into these very interesting findings. First of all, you provided a lot of data points for President Marcos, Vice President Duterte, their individual performances, their ongoing feud, their ability to work together, etc. Can you walk us through these findings, how they interconnect, and what your larger takeaway is in terms of these two officials and their fractured relationship, their ability to work together, what people think about that, etc.?
Right. I think if we look at the September 2024 survey results, there are three big emerging stories regarding the relationship of President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara, and how the Filipino people are responding and perceiving that development in their relationship. The first story is that both the president and the vice president are experiencing significant decline in their popularity. By this, I'm referring to the numbers telling us that the number of Filipinos saying that they're satisfied with their performance, either with the president or the vice president, is now below the majority, right? So since they've been elected, this is the first time that both of them actually are in that particular scenario already. So it's less than half of the population are finding their performance satisfactory, right? So President Bongbong came to that scenario earlier than Vice President Sara Duterte, because it was in the March 2024 survey that we first saw that for Bongbong.
In December 2023, President Marcos still enjoyed majority approval at 66%. He suffered a major dip to 45% in March 2024. Vice President Duterte also saw a drop from her 73% approval rating in 2023 to 60% in early 2024. But unlike Duterte, Marcos was spared a further drop in WR Numero's latest survey, leaving them pretty much on equal footing.
Now they're at the same level. So it's clear that the trends, and I think it's not only the survey we're doing in WR Numero, but across polling organizations, that we're seeing this significant decline in the popularity of both the the president and the vice president. So the second question would be, and I think that's also my second point, is that what explains this decline in their popularity, right? What is affecting Filipino perceptions on their satisfaction on the performance of the two national leaders. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the breakup or the collapse of the Uniteam and the breakdown in the supposedly good relationship between the president and the vice president, although now we're being told that they've never been friends to begin with, that collapse, that breakdown in the relationship is very unpopular as well, in the sense that many Filipinos express in different data points and different questions. I would summarize it in a way that they're expressing disagreements with how the relationship has developed. So, for example, they don't want the vice president to leave the cabinet. They think that, most Filipinos, I think at 62%, thinks that she should have remained in the cabinet despite rifts with the president. And this is not surprising because traditionally, if you look at public opinion over time on the role of the vice presidents, we have these expectations. Filipinos have this expectation that they should try their best to work with the president, even if, for example, in the case of Sarah, she has now rifts with the president, but even also for vice presidents who were elected coming from a separate or a different ticket, right? For example, the case of Vice President Leni Robredo and President Rodrigo Duterte in the past administration. So we always have this expectation, and therefore that leaving the cabinet, VP resigning as education secretary is quite unpopular. Filipinos are disagreeing with that because they want to see vice presidents to work with the president on trying to solve the problems of the nation. And in a sense, we do have a long-standing tradition in public opinion as well that we tend to, I use the term, punish vice presidents who would usually oppose their presidents, right? So that's generally not welcomed as a development, right? On the other hand, I think President Marcos is not safe from this as well because if you look at, again, another question, the nation is also still divided on how President Marcos should actually treat Vice President Duterte, whether the Vice President should now be treated as an opposition or, whether they should still continue seeing her as an ally. There's a slight majority at 53% Filipinos are saying that President Bongbong should still consider Sara as an ally and not part of the opposition, right? Because it's only a slight majority, I think the more important story here is that the nation is quite divided, right? About how the president is treating the vice president. So I think both of this is contributing to the decline in their popularity. So basically, Filipinos do not welcome this change in their relationship, especially because it affects their ability and willingness, in fact, to work with each other. And it appears like, if you're paying attention to the hearings in the Congress, for example, and the statements being made by the president and the vice president, it appears that, this is the source of that kind of disappointment with the performance of both national leaders, that they're no longer working together.
More on the fallout of the Marcos Duterte rift after a quick break.
The last story I think that's important here is that we see very important regional baluarte dynamics coming into the fore when it comes to this story of decline in the popularity of the president and the vice president. The vice president, for example, is still well regarded in Mindanao and to a certain extent in Visayas, but she's losing so much in Metro Manila and to a certain extent the rest of Luzon as well. I think around 25% of those who are from Metro Manila say that they are satisfied with the performance of the VP. That's really says that most of the people that you would meet in Metro Manila would say that they're unhappy with the vice president's performance. But the reverse of that is true for President Bongbong. So it's around the same number, I think 25-26% of Mindanaoans saying that he's doing a good job. So if you go down south and you talk to people there, they're saying that, we kind of like still like the vice president, but President Bongbong is not really doing well. So if you just look at the national, and this is, I think, what you have been saying, that if you look at the national average, it looks like the story is that both are experiencing decline, right? But if you look even closer and look at, for example, subpopulations, like by regional breakdown, you actually learn a lot and see that there's a nuance in this, that there's a Baluarte dynamics in how their popularity ratings are actually going down.
Here's what else the survey found. When asked about which official had better plans for the country, more Filipinos favored Marcos at 32%, over Duterte's 21%. 32% of Filipinos also believe that the president is the more suitable leader, while 23% chose the vice president. 53% of Filipinos say Marcos should still consider Duterte an ally, while the other half, at 47%, say she's now the opposition. However, a clear majority at 62% believe Sara should not have left cabinet.
And then you mentioned, these ongoing probes in the lower house and in the Senate, and how, we have to admit, as productive as a lot of these probes are, they also are an extension of this ongoing feud. I think we both acknowledge that. Did you get the sense while conducting these surveys that Filipinos also have an awareness that these probes are an additional battleground for this feud, or is that not a connection that's been made yet?
You know what? Now that you've raised that, Bella, I think it would have been a really great question to ask whether they see this as kind of like, how important these probes are, but they also see it as just part of this political drama. So we don't have data about that specifically, right? But we've also asked Filipinos about what they think about like some of the issues that has been raised about the vice president, right? The issue on the confidence and intelligence funds, for example, whether she's kind of like she's being portrayed as someone who's really wasteful of public funds, for example, right? And what we're learning is that the country is also quite divided, right? So although more actually disagreed, so the actual numbers would say that 42% disagreed that the vice president is doesn't take care of the public funds that well, right? And only 22% are believing with that particular accusation. I would not assume that it's kind of like a one-to-one correspondence. Oh, they see this allegation and therefore they're unhappy now and they don't support the VP. I think there's a really more complex dynamics at play here, how they process that information and how that informs their decisions as well, and perceptions of the vice president. Going back to your question, I wouldn't be surprised actually if many of our fellow Filipinos would say that we see this as important probes because this is about public funds, but our eyes are also very open, and we know that this is part of the Marcos Duterte feud and political drama. And as an observer, as well, I think it's really quite disappointing to see that our Congress can actually do a good job in probing how our money is being used properly or otherwise, but it would require them a political feud before they actually do their job. So it's also quite disappointing as a citizen, as an observer, right? That they have to wait for that kind of thing before they do their actual job because they've been elected to perform those functions.
This is part 2 of a series we're devoting to WR Numero's most recent findings. Part 1 covered the Philippine public's views on Palestine. And if you're wondering why we're paying such close attention to this poll, or polls in general, check out a previous conversation I had with another member of WR Numero's team, Robin Michael Garcia, about why polls matter. We'll leave a link in the show notes. Again, I'm Bella Perez Rubio. Pidoy Blanco edited this episode. Our executive producer is Jill Caro, and our editor-in-chief is Carl Javier. Thanks for listening.